Hello, welcome to the Q. Operation Too Soon is over. It ended about a week and a half ago, and it ended while I was out of town. Um, and I haven't really had a chance to get back for a recap, but I want you to take a look at those aircraft there. 5 strategic bombers, 4 tactical bombers, 2 fighters. That's what I lost to anti-aircraft. From flying over anti-aircraft, from bombing factories, from intercepts, and I think even attacking an anti-aircraft gun within a stack. Um, that's a lot of ones shooting down my aircraft. That's painful. Um, I ended up with 3 strategic bombers left at the end of the game, but had I not lost all those, as soon as I started bombing, those strategic bombers, I could have put those into other units for other things, but that's beside the point. Operation Too Soon came down to the wire, and there is the victory roundels. On the city side, we held on to 9 cities: Shanghai, Stalingrad, Hong Kong, Leningrad, Rome, Warsaw, Paris, Berlin, and Tokyo. We also held on to 3 objectives. The Reich Point, which is 70 or more combined income from Italy and Germany. The Mediterranean Point, which is 3 of the 4 corner ports, Cairo, Greece, France, and Gibraltar. We had 3 of those. And then all these islands are um, Axis or non-Allied controlled. So technically, Crete was neither. So it is Axis. Well, it's not Axis, but it's not Allied controlled. So that keeps our point. And then finally, resources. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 of the 3 we needed. On that last turn, we did lose world oil and the China point, and then the USA prevented any chance of getting that Atlantic wall. So pretty good game. I'm not sure. Some people had said they didn't see the last Commonwealth turn, what they did. And my map's not updated because, like I said, it took place when I was out of town. They brought all their transports down here. Oh, wait a minute, it is updated. I did update it for this. Sorry. They came down and they took the world oil. Oh, you know what? Did they take the world oil last turn? I can't remember if I've updated it or not. I do know we lost world oil right here at Borneo. Um, so I really don't know what they would have done at the end. I do know they built the airbase here in Transjordan, so this fighter, and they built an airbase here in Iran, so those aren't out. So these 2 fighters came up for an attack on Stalingrad to weaken it, and then this fighter came up to try and break these 2. I think that transport was there, but it didn't even get a hit. So once it failed, the Russians could not blitz down and try and take out. And I think they only got 1 hit before they were wiped out. So if that had succeeded, it would have been those 2 Russians against those 3 Axis units. So, but they didn't get to there because we held there in what is that, Samara. So it was a good effort, good game. So I learned some things, saw some things from all the other 3 players in this game that I can take away and use down the road, which is really, whenever you're playing a game, one of the things we want to learn is my point. So a lot of games are played privately so that people can't see other people's strategies, but honestly, that's really not how I like to play. I mean, you can see all the strategies you want because really what you saw here, if you're thinking about scoping that out for tournament use, I'm never going to use heavy bombers in a tournament setting for this very reason right there. Those 5 that bit the dust. It's just too much of a risk. You kind of go with the safer technologies, at the tournament time. But when you're playing games for fun and YouTube, you try out all the different techs and um, have a heyday at it. So anyway, I think this is the first time, like I said, playing with Prussian Gamers and Rommel. Those two guys had some really good things going here in this game. They really came hard at Japan, and Commander Ironsides, he was able to stave them off. I mean, he lost ground, but held on to Hong Kong and Shanghai, which were the two major important ones. We could have possibly thrown a little bit more here at Borneo, but it would have. There was plenty there for the Commonwealth. Plus, the U.S. had all these planes that they really didn't need in that naval battle. They could have came down and done a strike. So there was no saving world oil. That was just one of those things we took and forced the Allies to take back, which was kind of the idea up here. Originally, Commander Ironsides had the idea of, he could send a transport here, or he can send one here to Alaska to force the U.S. to take them back, or send both here to Hawaiian Islands, which would have been interesting because there would have been 4 land units there and 4 attacking land units with 1 bombard. So that fight, with the 2 armor kind of leaning in the Americans' favor, but the way dice are rolled, you never know. Japan could have maybe held on to that, which would have been another victory point. But in the end, we thought maybe it was better to shore up the 2 victory points that we could hold for sure, with some extra beef. They did land here in the middle and take away the China point. That was really not a lot we could do. I mean, I guess we could have funneled a couple more guys, but there was enough planes on these carriers that could have come in and cleaned the way. So it's real hard to change the China point. To hold the China point. Now, if you've seen Seird's new map and his new China victory point rule, the interesting thing here is these are no longer Chinese roundels along the coast where Japan starts. So those will not count in the China point. So you can't land there and take the China point away at the end. So that'll be an interesting twist going forward, along with some others on the other side of the map. But you should look up that video. It's the last video that he posted. And it was basically on the new 1941 map. And new rules or new setup and all that will follow, not in time for the Atlanta tournament, but I think the Atlanta tournament will be played on the new 1941 map. I'm not really sure what the technical name is going to be called for that map. I think it's Bloodbath 41, but I could be wrong. So they're going to use this setup that we played in this game here on the 7, it's not a BBR7, the 41 map with the changes that it has to some areas, and which is kind of a good idea because that gets people accustomed to the new map. And then the following year, I guess 2025 in Atlanta, will be the reveal of the BBR 1941, and that tournament will be played with those rules, that setup, and there'll be those changes as well. So appreciate you guys for watching the map, for the comments, watching the game, the YouTube game, and the comments made along the way. And looking forward to the next game. Still a pretty busy May here. Probably it'll be June or July before I get into another game. The game on the other table is still playtesting some rules, so that one's probably going to go on for another month with the new rules. I think they're releasing those rules in June for Global War 36, but we'll see. Not everything goes on the timetable that is mentioned. So, as I said before, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for a new YouTube game starting here not too distant future.